of that nature. Uh, but something that I still don't think is talked about nearly enough is the things we put on our lawn, right? I'm very excited to see in everyone as a whole seems to be more conscious, aware, and asking questions about what do we put in our homes? What do we put in our bodies? What is going on in our environment, right? But still, an overshadowed part of that is what do we put on our lawns? Do you even really know? Uh, and how deep does it go, right? Because a lot of times in lawn care, or not lawn care, but in, let's say, environmental things, fertilizer, chemicals, all that, umbrella, it is typically more talked about for agriculture, right? Agriculture and chemical companies, oh, big ag is using all the herbicides and pesticides and get all this runoff, right? True, true. And there's big changes happening there. Regenerative agriculture is becoming more widespread, well known, more practiced, and there are people like Gabe Brown. If you haven't heard of him, look him up. He's a very fascinating person, and what he does on his farm is awesome, right? Or kind of a starter of maybe the whole regenerative agriculture movement was Alan Savory. First time I saw Savory Institute, I thought it was like for food. And I'm like, why is this popping up on my feed a long time ago? And then I did a little more homework, found out he's a gentleman out of Africa who really started the whole regenerative agriculture way of looking at things. And, you know, I don't know who started it here necessarily in lawn care, but there is more of a regenerative lawn care aspect of things. And I am honored and happy to feel like I'm a part of it, right? Asking different questions of how do I kill the weeds? How do I treat this? How do I treat that? Because that is the predominant question in my industry. We need to ask questions of, is it healthy? Is it safe? Am I supporting soil biology? Am I impacting the environment? And I know it can feel a little daunting to ask all these questions uh, and concerning, right? Like, why the heck do I have to ask all these questions? But that's because we've been being marketed and sold stuff that's really terrible for us, right? And there is no big warning label like on a cigarette pack, like may cause cancer, may cause endocrine disruption, may cause hormonal imbalances, and a cascade of other effects. But the sad thing is, it is 100% true that these things do impact us, right? And I want to be a person in my area, I'm in League City, Texas, that is on the forefront of saying, hey, there's better options for lawn care. And bro, I don't care about did he do it? Not my concern. Okay. Um, if he did, then the answer would be nah. But stupid question. Anyway, back to the lawn care at hand is that, fortunately, again, like agriculture, farming, things like that are being put more in the public. And we we're asking better questions about what is going on our food, how is it being made, things like that, right? But I still don't think that in lawn care it's being asked nearly as much. And I would have to say that it should be because there is more lawns in the United States than there is cornfields in the United States. So let's like kind of just wrap that up in our thoughts a little bit of if there is more fields of grass in front of people, that means that that's more potential for fertilizer use, pesticide use, fungicide use, right? More potential of runoff into our local waterways from our own yard, right? We don't think about this because we don't want to look in front of ourselves and say, well, what am I doing? Or maybe we just weren't presented with, uh, the thought. Zhang Maolin, I'm sorry if I'm jacking that up. What's up, dude? Hope you're having a groovy day. Thank you for popping on my live. This is AJ with Hippie Fertilizing, where we support soil biology, and it's more than just grass, right? We want to talk about our micro ecosystem that is right in front of our front door and our back door, backyard, side yard, all that good stuff. Andrew, I don't know who you are, but thanks for blowing up my comment section. Uh, so let's go back to lawn care. All right. And I would say, look, again, it goes back to like asking these questions. What are we putting on our lawns and why? Why are we marketed this stuff? Why are we told this stuff? It's nuts that you know, they spend millions and billions of dollars to tell you to kill a plant. And people will call me and they're like, how do I kill the weeds? I'm like, dude, you have dirt. We need to like grow something and not have soil erosion and mud and soil compaction. You could ask a question. Man, all these comments on here are actually super distracting from people that probably uh, don't have much to do with lawn care. Now, dude, barbecue fetus, the Dawn Gorilla Illuminati. If it ends with side, set it aside. I know you've been listening. I know you've been looking at this stuff, and I appreciate that, bro. Big time, and I love the name all the time. Am I vegan? Heck no. I love a good steak, all right? But I do want some grass-fed, grass-finished meat. I want the least amount of stuff in my own food. Uh, and just like I want healthier stuff for my food, right? And my vegetables and the animal husbandry of what's going on of the stuff that I buy at the store. I want better stuff around my home. I don't want to feel like I have to freak out over uh, a plant, right? Oh, I have clover because I do get these phone calls and if this makes people feel this way, like kind of, hey, I'm sorry, I don't want you to feel anxious and anxiety and stuff like that. But I also want us to look at things of like, dude, our lawn is the one place that we can control how we impact the environment, the ecosystem, right? The air we breathe, the water we drink. That's where we can control it as our own little piece right in front of us. But yet we're bombarded with a whole bunch of stuff that says treat this, kill that. And, if you don't have a perfect lawn, then it's just not good enough. And let me tell you from tons and tons of experience, your neighbor typically doesn't care what you're doing. Okay? They have their own mortgage, their own car payment, their own marital problems, whatever the case is. It's your lawn. It's your peace of mind. Don't poison yourself over it. Feed it. Maintain it. And if you want it to be nice and you live in urban America, be prepared for a water bill, okay? Because it's kind of a part of the process. Like, hey, I want a big old truck lifted with 44s or whatever, but you know what I don't want? I don't want the maintenance bill. So I'm not going to worry about it. Not my wheelhouse, right? And I would say if you want a beautiful lawn, be consistent with it. Feed it properly. But a number one rule we should all be following out here is if we can't touch it with our own hands, why the hell are we using it? Okay? Because we got enough stuff going on in the environment being bombarded by chemicals and PFAs and all the other stuff, right? Forever chemicals and freaking herbicide in our drinking water. Why are we going to add to it? It's nuts, So I want to do more and more homework all the time and work with Mother Nature, how Mother Nature intended. Uh, and that's our goal. That's our mission. That's what we stand on, right? And it's not easy to stand on when 99% of the rest of the industry is telling us Just kill the weeds. You got to have a perfect lawn. Well, what the hell is a perfect lawn? To me, a perfect lawn is a lawn that when it rains, it captures more water, it has a good root system, uh, it helps contribute to cleaning up the water as a filtration system instead of putting stuff down that is going to contaminate the water further, right? Because your life matters, your health matters, the health of your kids, your pets, and even the birds, the bees, the trees, like that, all that stuff matters. And there's a lot of stuff out there that doesn't have an advocate for it. Maria McRae, thank you for subscribing. I very much appreciate it. I don't really do YouTube lives very often. I really want to get in gear and doing it more because I would hope that I have a bigger audience reach. I do have I get on Facebook a lot and do stuff there, but I kind of like the format that YouTube offers. And we will be showing a whole lot more stuff of actually in the lawn, in the field, how to fix it, and always going to continue the conversation about soil biology, water, air, and our health, right? Because without our health, nothing else matters, in my opinion. Doesn't matter if you have a perfect lawn, doesn't matter any of that if your health is declining. And something I think about that I want to share with people, I want you to take pride in what you have, right? And take care of it. But it's not the only thing. Like your lawn is not the only thing. I have never met a person, now that I'm getting older, more and more people are, they've passed away in my life. And you never hear a story necessarily about, oh, Mr. Johnson, he had perfect grass. That ain't on the frickin' eulogy, okay? So as we want to take pride in our homes and our stuff, and that is important, I think sometimes we give it way too much weight, right? Because I'm so tired of meeting and seeing people that tell me and express to me, in being genuine, about having anxiety over weeds. Like, dude, we got way bigger problems in our lives than plants that we typically can't name or that a commercial told us was bad. We need to stop this nonsense. So, just like regenerative agriculture has a movement and it's gaining ground and traction, I want regenerative lawn care to be a movement and gain ground and have traction. Because if we don't ask for and demand better alternatives to approach these things, we will not get them. Luckily, there's a few things on the market that are like shifting how we approach weed killers and pest control and things, and even feeding the lawn in a way that again works better with Mother Nature. Like Fiesta Weed Killer, it's iron based. It works wonders, especially in the right season, right? Salt, vinegar, citrus based weed killers, they're out there and they are effective, right? But if people weren't looking for this stuff and weren't having a more of a demand on the market, it wouldn't exist. So the things that are available to us a lot of times are simply available to us because that's what we wanted, right? And we can't sit here and accept the status quo of the last 50 years um, to move forward, right? As I've gotten older, I just see a cascading effect of what the last 50 years has done to people and their health and our environment. And I'm here to like make some noise, woo, on hopefully a different approach, a different perspective, and a different mindset on how we take care of this stuff. I'm AJ with Hippie Fertilizing. I'm here to support soil biology. I'm here to try to help everyone have a healthier, safer environment. And I hope you are too. Have a super groovy day. Peace.